Hello from the Global Legal Hackathon 2018 Final Round Gala here in New York City, New York. I'm Alex Muncey and we're on the road with Legal Talk Network. And we're back. Thank you so much for joining us on the road. We're here in beautiful sunshine on the bank of the Hudson River here on Pier 60, and I'm here with LexLucid and project team LemonAid from Lagos, Nigeria. So we've got two teams from two very different parts of the world. LexLucid from Denver, Colorado, and LemonAid from Lagos. So let me start with you, LemonAid. I mean, would you be able to just tell me a little bit about how you came together, how you know each other, and formed your team?
So we registered individually for the competition, and we came together and formed this team, LemonAid. It was how we came up with our name was quite an interesting situation because we had pack of sweet stacked on our tables, and we kept asking ourselves what were we going to call our team, and we looked at the Lemon Plus that was on our table, and then we said, oh yeah, we could make lemonade out of the situation in Nigeria, in prison system Nigeria, and we came up with the name LemonAid, just like that. We didn't know ourselves before, but when we came together, it was interesting. It was amazing.
It's true. I mean, I do like a name with a good pun in it, so that's always a nice thing. I mean, could you tell me a little bit about your project? And from what I understand, it's a platform to aid in pro bono work. Could you sort of explain what the rationale is and how?
Okay, so Project LemonAid is supposed to help facilitate access to justice for pretrial inmates. So right now in Nigeria, 75% of all inmates in Nigeria haven't been tried. So you have prisons congested with people who haven't been tried at all. So some of these people are serving time that they probably shouldn't be serving at all if they had gone through like a fair trial. So we're trying to get them legal representation is what it is in total.
Okay. So you working together with law firms and trying to get them to focus their pro bono efforts on...
Yeah, so right now we already have lawyers who are taking on pro bono cases. It's a regular thing. People take on pro bono cases. So what we're trying to do is speed up how quickly they can take on a pro bono case. So we have lawyers who already want to take on these cases, but we're trying to shorten how long they'd have to work on these cases by bringing in help, using some form of automation, using some algorithms to help suggest case files to them, facilitating collaboration between different parties in the entire system to make these cases go on faster.
Fantastic. And obviously Lagos has a pretty vibrant tech scene. I mean, I imagine a lot of you guys are developers in terms, or not necessarily all of you, but in terms of some of the challenges that you faced when you were putting this together, I mean, what were some of the bigger hurdles?
Some of the hurdles we faced. First of all, we had to raise funds to even get it off the ground, to build a website, we're a team of 8 people. So we had 5 lawyers, we have 2 designers, 1 UX and UI guy, 1 graphic designer, and 1 developer. But we need to raise funds to hire more hands to help take this project off the ground. And we had working with a team of 8 people that you've never met before. It's definitely challenging. So we had to go through all of those challenges, hire a team leader, and she's done a wonderful job tracking every single person. This is your turn to do this. It's your turn to do that. So it's been very a very interesting experience, and I'm glad we went through with it. So.
Fantastic. I suppose I should bring in LexLucid here. I mean, both what you probably have in common, or what a lot of both of your projects seem to be about establishing platforms and sort of networks of lawyers and bringing them together for a common purpose. I mean, in terms of your project, LexLucid, I mean, could you please tell me a little bit about sort of where the idea originated and what you were hoping to achieve?
Yeah, so our project is attempting to make it easier to understand terms of service on different websites and contracts that you accept online. We didn't really have a great idea of what we wanted to do going into the hackathon, but we were really lucky in 2 of our collaborators, Otto Hansen and Catherine Snow. Sorry, I forgot her name briefly. We were really lucky with them that they had an idea to bring to the table, and they came up with this idea of grading contracts and kind of making it easier to understand if a contract was good and how the privacy affected you and how the monetary parts of the contract would affect you and things like that. So them with our development team, there was 4 of us, it really came together smoothly.
Fantastic. I mean, that's obviously quite a topical thing at the moment. I mean, going back, first of all, with the Equifax, or was it Equifax or Experian? I can't remember.
Yeah, the Equifax data breach. I mean, that was less of a breach. That was less of a terms of service like understanding thing, and more of just a data breach itself.
Yeah, but from my understanding, after the actual breach happened, they then released and they said, we can help you.
They did have some very poor execution of their cleanup, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sort of inserting clauses which essentially made you relinquish your right to hold them to task.
You couldn't sue them if you accepted their 1 year.
So credit monitoring service.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was.
Exactly. So I mean, obviously that's sort of stayed in the news quite recently with things like Facebook, and they've had a lot of criticism and scrutiny of their terms of services and what they do with people's data. In terms of how you're planning to address this, how will you sort of incentivize lawyers to essentially write reviews and read through those terms and translate them into plain English and in a way that an average person can understand?
So we have some ways to try to incentivize lawyers. There's one way is that companies might be willing to pay us to get reviews from lawyers. So if a company is like, well, I want mine on the site, or I've improved my contract, maybe I'll pay you guys. And then another way is pro bono work with lawyers. It's suggested, at least in the state of Colorado, that you get something like 50 hours. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's suggested you do a certain amount of pro bono work, and this could count towards that if they were to do some of these contracts. They're already looking at these contracts all the time anyways for clients and stuff, so if they just quickly jot down some notes in LexLucid too, they could count some of that for pro bono and add it to our database of graded contracts.
Fantastic. So obviously you guys have a very different projects, sort of both tapping in possibly into the pro bono space, but yours much more in terms of access to justice and facilitating either speedy trials or getting people that are sitting and waiting for trials, expediting that whole process. You're sort of coming at it more from a corporate consumer perspective and helping to translate quite incoherent terms into something that's a bit more understandable. I mean, they're obviously very different projects, but both tapping into the same sort of space. I mean, in terms of your plans for the future, I mean, do you have a launch date, either of you, for when this is going to go live?
We don't have right now the website itself is live, but we don't have a launch date for there's a certain critical mass of graded contracts we probably need before it's particularly useful for the general public. So we don't have a specific date for that, but we have some plans of changes we can make to make things better and easier to manage on the back end, but no specific dates right now.
And Team LemonAid?
We do not have a specific date now. So what we have now, it's something very minimum viable, like we said. So we have plans on developing it, and then when we fully develop it to a certain point, then we can launch it. So we don't have a specific date. So
I mean, both of your projects obviously require quite close collaboration with existing law firms, and it's important to be tapped into the legal community in Lagos, and then with you, I suppose, more nationally in the US, at least as a starting point. In terms of some of those initial discussions, have you had discussions with law firms in terms of collaboration efforts and trying to build up the platform?
Yeah, we have. We have had a couple of law firms and a couple of investors look into it and love the idea and are looking to join the platform. We also have a partnership right now with the Ministry of Justice in Lagos, and that's major for us, upper government for the finance. So that's good.
So I know that Catherine and Otto are the lawyers on our team, and I know that they've talked to some of their colleagues and some of the other people they know in the industry, and they're really excited about the platform. I don't know if they've made any any specific plans or deals with any specific plans or deals with those other law firms right now. That would be a question for them, but unfortunately they're not available right now at the moment.
Well, thank you very much for joining me today. We've reached the end of the road for today's episode. I just want to thank our guests, LexLucid and Team LemonAid, for joining us today. It's been really, really interesting to speak with you both. Well, with all of you, in fact. I just want to thank our listeners for tuning in. If you've liked what you heard, please find and rate us in Apple Podcasts. And we'll see you next time for another episode of On the Road with Legal Talk Network.
If you'd like more information about what you've heard today, please visit LegalTalkNetwork.com. Subscribe via iTunes and RSS. Find us on Twitter and Facebook, or download our free Legal Talk Network app in Google Play and iTunes. The views expressed by the participants of this program are their own and do not represent the views of, nor are they endorsed by, Legal Talk Network, its officers, directors, employees, agents, representatives, shareholders, and subsidiaries. None of the content should be considered legal advice. As always, consult a lawyer.